Hey guys, how's it going? So I wanted to do a quick video to talk about this sculpture that was recently brought to light by John Levy on his channel. And that would be the sculpture titled Disengano, or The Release from Deception, by Francesco Cairolo, supposedly by sculptor Francesco Cairolo. And I wanted to discuss not the artistry and the amazing skill that it would take to make that piece. I just wanted to discuss some of the symbolism that appears on there, which I find very interesting. And just to set this up, it is contained in a chapel in Naples, the San Severo Chapel. And if you look into that, there are many crazy stories and a lot of Freemasonry associated with that chapel. And quickly, just to give you an idea, in the basement they have what are known as these anatomical machines, which are crazy looking things, and supposedly they know how it was done, but there are a bunch of mysteries out there, just like everything else from our fake history. There are crazy stories, but it is really interesting to see this and how it could have been preserved. And also there was a fetus along with an umbilical cord and the placenta next to the female skeleton. And just so happens that the fetus was stolen in the 1990s. So again, these amazing stories surrounding all these places sort of to distract you from the obvious, which is how in the world could this stuff have been created within the time period they say it was created. So back to the statue, just starting from the bottom, the pedestal, you see they have a picture of Jesus healing the blind man. So opening the eyes to deception seems to be the theme of this sculpture. It's about getting, sorting through deceptions and lies. And so the main figure, the fisherman, pulling the net away from his face, the angel next to him helping him remove the net. So it not only has the symbolism of knots, but the net, the internet. I mean, I think it's a crazy coincidence that we are being trapped with the internet. You can't do anything outside of the internet. It's basically the Matrix. And here's this guy removing the internet, the web, the net from his face. And the angel with the fire on his forehead, which signifies intelligence, human intelligence, is pointing down to the globe Earth. I don't know how much more obvious it can be, with the angel helping him to remove the net from his face and pointing down at a globe. That would, to me, would be symbolize the deception. Remove the internet from your eyes and look, this is a big CGI deception. And he's also pointing at a book with a few biblical passages referenced on the book. And first of all, the Latin description, or the Latin text on the left side of that book reads, "I will break thy chain, the chain of the darkness and long night of which thou art a slave, so that thou might not be condemned with this world." Again, you're a slave to this world. You're an internet slave. You are being deceived by the globe. So I find that very interesting and a possible interpretation, an Easter egg from this ancient sculptor. So then if we turn and look at these Bible passages, the first one would be the Nahum 1 from the Latin Vulgate. Earlier in this chapter it talks about, "There is one come out of thee that imagineth evil against the Lord, a wicked counselor. Thus saith the Lord, though they be quiet, and likewise many, yet thus shall they be cut down, when he shall pass through. Though I have afflicted thee, I will afflict thee no more." And then verse 13 states, "For now I will break his yoke from off thee, and I will burst thy bonds in sunder." So break the chains of deception here. That's what it's saying. That's a main point of this sculpture. And then next is the verse, and it has the word sapientia, which could refer to either the wisdom of Solomon or the other wisdom of Sirach. And since Solomon doesn't have 22 chapters, it has to be Sirach. So the 22nd chapter of Sirach, in verse 2, it reads, "Lazy people are no better than dung. They are repulsive and no one wants to get near them." And basically, I think what they're talking about here is that you can't awaken people too early. So if you read on further in this chapter, it says, Trying to teach a fool is like gluing a broken pot together, like waking someone out of a deep sleep. Explaining something to a fool is like explaining it to a sleepy person. When you have finished, he'll say, "What was that again?" So this is a very interesting verse. It kind of hints at you can try to wake up the masses, but if they're not ready, they're not going to wake up, and also maybe that you have to have a lot of patience dealing with those who are not awake, who have not been gifted with the ability to see through the lies, who do not have that helper right next to them, helping them pull the net off their face. So I find that to be an interesting passage. And I'm not some religious, Bible beater, but I'm just reading what is said here. And then the last one we have Corinthians, and it is Corinthians 1, chapter 11, verse 33. We got verse 33 here. So it states, "Wherefore, my brethren, when ye come together to eat, wait one for another." So basically that tells me wait for your brothers. Be patient with those who are not awake. So I find those to be very interesting bits of truths contained in this sculpture. And again, I see this as an amazing allegory to the modern age we live in, and that is the deception of the ball earth, and also the hint at the internet. I have no idea how that could have been foreseen in antiquity, but maybe this has been done before. We have no clue, really. We're pretty much blind when it comes to anything before the 1800s. Yeah, so I just wanted to share those quick little interpretations I have of this amazing sculpture. And again, we know we have a male figure pulling a net off of him with the aid of an angel who's pointing down at a globe and an open book with Bible verses. And in his hand he has that strange scepter that we see in a lot of old illustrations from books in the 1600s and even earlier. But I don't think anyone has figured out exactly what that item is for, or what purpose it could have served. But he's obviously indicating something that has to do with the globe and the verses contained in that book. So again, I just thought I would share that quick bit of interpretation with you. And again, hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much for watching and listening. Take care. Adios.